Sub to the channel.
We're here in Hollywood at the LA Film School campus.
Sure.
Let me show you our pro spaces where our
get
students
ready
work
to
and
get
learn.
into it in a minute.
Warm enough for winter, structured enough to look strong. I wear this everywhere. One hoodie, all winter. It's in my bio.
That jungle. You probably saw the short Drake performing live. Big crowd, big concerts, big arenas. He performed one of my favorite songs. And I put the title of the song on the short. I put the title of the album. Title of the album is If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Title of the song is Jungle. We gonna play that song and then we gonna jump into it, y'all. We got a full interview from Drake, and then we have a document series of Michael Jackson. So with no further ado, everybody that's coming in, man, y'all like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Shout out to Realist 7239. Again, shout out to Realist 7239. They said, any thoughts on why they got Prince Well, they loved Prince because Prince hated Mike, but I feel like they felt Prince was on their side because he hated on Mike so much, right? Purple Rain album was Prince's debut. I mean, he was already in the industry. He was already doing good, but he wasn't doing Michael Jackson numbers. No one was. But Purple Rain, he did Michael Jackson numbers, right? So then people start saying, hey, they can't be compared. They can't be put in the same boat together. You can't compete. They can't compete with each other. They in two different zones. You're right, they were. Prince was an alien, a Martian, as Wayne loved to call himself. And Michael Jackson was the prince of the world. So when they got in a room with Prince, what they wanted, what Prince did that Michael Jackson doesn't do, that's why Purple Rain put Prince on Michael Jackson's level, not just the sales. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like the video, sub to the channel if you're not already sub. Not just the sales, but Prince was a creator too. That's why he was a Martian, you know, like Wayne say. Like Eternal say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eternal. Yeah. Eternal and Blonde Empire. Yeah, for sure. So Prince wrote everything that he sung, and he wrote the music, right? And he produced the song. So he made all the money, right? And they didn't mind. They didn't mind him making all the money as long as he was still good for the takedown of Michael Jackson, right? When they got involved, like they love to do, they put Michael Jackson on lithium, allegedly. Nah, we can say that for sure. They put him on lithium. Same thing they tried to put Kanye West on, and Kim Kardashian tried to get him to take these pills and shit. Same thing they put Britney Spears on. See, because in the industry, they have this company that takes guardianship over artists and they money when the artists allegedly go crazy, right? So they Mickey Britney Spears, gave her the lithium, right? This company that has guardianship, that they give guardianship over different artists. Kim Kardashian, them mama run this company. She's one of the founders of this company, right? Britney Spears at the time, before they put her on the lithium and Mickey'd her when they said she went crazy and she needed guardianship, because they make you leave your family and your friends behind when you sell your soul to them. And Britney Spears was worth over $300 million. The Kardashians was going into debt at the time, and this is all public. Look it up. Kardashians was going into debt at the time when they gave this company guardianship over Britney Spears. All of a sudden, within a span of a year to 2 years, Britney Spears supposedly went broke. And I'm trying to figure out how she spent over $300 million if she was crazy. And then at the same time, the Kardashians all of a sudden just come out of debt, and they're worth a little bit over $300 million. So what happened to Britney money? The Kardashians got it, right? They tried to do the same thing to Kanye West. They did the same thing to Michael Jackson to take his copyrights. Couldn't get Prince, so they just straight up killed him, lied and said he had full-blown AIDS. Dick Gregory took an interview before they killed Dick Gregory. And the interviewer that was interviewing Dick Gregory said, man, what do you think about Prince? He was supposed to have full-blown AIDS, man. He was real sick right before he died. He said Prince was doing one day 2 shows, right? And one day he was doing 2 shows in 2 different cities in Texas or Vegas, Texas or Nevada, right? And Dick Gregory was there, and this interviewer that was interviewing him was there. And he said, man, what do you think happened to Prince, man? He was sick with full-blown AIDS. He said, Prince died the day after he had that concert. He said, I was there and you was there. He said, you seen Prince on the stage. Did he look like he had full-blown AIDS and was sick as hell? You know how Dick Gregory liked to say, when he's, did he look like he had full-blown AIDS and was sick? Huh? Huh? That's where I get the huh from. I get it from Dick Gregory. And he was like, no, he didn't. Of course he did. Yeah, they took out Prince because they wanted his publishing, you know, and also Prince could not, you're welcome. Prince could not, did not allow anybody to use his music. When he was first coming up against Michael Jackson, and I actually have an audio clip for this, Prince was taking an interview and he was very pissed because he was trying to come up, but out of all the artists in the industry back in that day, he was the one that was getting bootlegged the most. So he was everywhere, his music was everywhere, but he wasn't making the money for his music being everywhere. Right? So his money still wasn't on Michael Jackson level, even though he sold like Michael Jackson and should have been richer. You know, like the Thriller against the Purple Rain, they both sold around the same. Michael Jackson sold the most, right? Back in that day when they first released the albums. But Prince should have been richer off that album than Michael Jackson was off the Thriller, because Michael Jackson don't own all his copyrights. Michael Jackson writes songs, but he didn't write all of his songs. The industry would put songs together and put people together, like Barry Gordon produced the Thriller album. So he rich as fuck off of it. He produced it. So the songs that Michael Jackson didn't write, either Barry wrote them or Barry had writers. You know what I'm saying? That worked for Motown back in that day. So yeah, they needed them copyrights and they wanted Prince music to be everywhere. You know, when Prince was alive, you can say from the mid-90s all the way up to his death, you didn't hear Prince music on the radio, but you heard it playing in people's cars, which means they either bought the digital download or they bought the CD out of the store. You know what I'm saying? But radio stations weren't allowed. Once Prince got his copyrights and his patents together, he put patents on all this shit. That way no one could use it. You don't just copyright it, you put a patent on it. No one can use your shit unless you allow them to. And no one was paying enough for Prince to allow them to use his music. So they had to take him out. What you said, La? Huh? Huh? Yeah, Dick Gregory, I fuck with him. I fuck with him tough. And he didn't just let them know about Prince. He let them know about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson called him the day before he died. And they had him in the bed and he was so weak. And he was like, Dick Gregory was like, he was like, this my Michael Jackson voice. Dick, I need you. They're trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me. I need you to come stay with me. Can you just come and sit in my room with me? That's my Michael Jackson voice. And Dick Gregory was like, he wanted to, but he couldn't because he had business. He had some interviews to take, right? So he was finna hop on a plane and he was telling Mike he couldn't do it. But after he get done with the interviews and shit, he gonna get out there as soon as possible. The next morning, he woke up in his hotel to Michael Jackson on the news. The Prince of Pop has died. Yep. But yeah, man, Eternal, that's just to answer your question. A little deep dive real quick. Everybody that's coming in, man, y'all like the video, sub to the channel if you're not already subbed. We at 974. We trying to hit 1,000 tonight, baby, so we can turn over and monetize sometime this week, so we can get that partner email to say, hey, it's your time to become a YouTube partner. Can y'all help a brother out? Huh? Yeah, this is that Michael and Drake special. The only two artists that are so much alike. Rest in peace to Mike. Yeah, Drake, we got your back, brother. Um, what's up, William Lynch? Yeah, my top sniper in this bitch. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, don't run. Don't run. You don't want it in the back of the head, make you do a front flip, huh? You're out of there. Yeah, don't act up in the check because she will get you out of here. Last suspension, I saw she put somebody on. It's like 106,000 seconds. Forever. Yeah, on some Outcast shit. Everybody that's coming in, man, y'all like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. When we started it off, we was at 974. We probably still there. I hope not. I hope we at least got one subscriber added. We trying to hit, we only need 26 subscribers to monetize. Yeah. So y'all help us out, man. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. And if you subscribe, drop your name down in the comment section so I can announce you as a Blocstarr analyst. And when you get active in that chat, after you subscribe, you become a chat analyst. So you get a little badge on your shoulder. Yeah, huh? I might do that. When we monetize, I might do that. Make badges. Make real life badges for you to earn. And you be able to iron them on your shirt like the cloth joints. Iron them on your shirts and shit. Yeah. So when we go live, you can wear your badge shirt. Yeah, because you might get invited on. Huh? Yeah, let's go. With no further ado, here go my boy Drake. Yeah, y'all keep it. This my shit, y'all. This my shit. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all watch the short. Make sure y'all watch the short Drake performing a piece of this joint. Yeah, I was performing with him at the bottom of the screen. Word for word. The beat. Hey, this my shit, this my shit, this my shit, this my shit. Huh? Yeah, I'm just like a baby drooling over the things. Hey, hey, hey. Huh? Everything. Yeah. Hey, for real. That my shit. That my shit. Shout out to Drake. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all go watch that short that I posted where he performed in the Jungle song from If You're Reading This It's Too Late album. Yeah, one of the 16 albums of his 19 albums released in his catalog. One of the 15 albums of his 19 albums released in his catalog that has already went diamond, which means it went platinum 10 times. Sold 10 million of each record. This the thing though. This is why I call him Michael Jackson Jr. Cause ain't nobody doing what Drake doing. Ain't nobody selling 10 million records damn near every record they bring out. He up 85, 86, 87% of his albums. have one diamond, which means he sold over 10 million of each one of those 15 albums. Thing is with Michael Jackson, see, when Michael Jackson bought out albums, he sold over 20 million worldwide every time. Off the Wall album, y'all saw the short. If you didn't, make sure you watch it. Off the Wall album sold 20 million, over 20 million, first release. Thriller album sold over 20 million, first release. Dangerous album sold over 20 million, first release. I think the Essentials of Michael Jackson and the Number Ones is the only two that, because they was before the Wall album, the Off the Wall album, and the Thriller album, because he dropped those back to back, year after year. Thriller first. Now, it might have been Off the Wall first. I can't remember. I was young as fuck. Some of Michael Jackson albums, I wasn't even born yet. Especially when he was with the Jackson 5s. I'm talking about Thriller in Manila. Yeah, man. Michael Jackson is amazing. So Drake, he amazing too though. 15 of them. He got a larger catalog than Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson still got more records sold than everybody. Michael Jackson, the only person in history that ever sold 1 billion albums. One album. Thriller has sold over 1 billion albums. They re-release that motherfucker every year, and it sell 1 million right off the back, first week. Million sold. How? Now he dead and gone. It's still doing that. Matter of fact, his album sales have increased since he's died, Michael Jackson. That's why I said, yeah, man, we got to watch out for Drake. Like Dr. Umar said, an artist is worth more dead than alive. It don't matter who they is. Big Starr, we're here from Memphis. Everybody know about him now. Some people still don't know about him though, right? But most people do. Pooh Shiesty Cuz, the one that died from an overdose, right? They got mad at Gucci Mane because he handled their business and he said, hey, I need the chain back. Y'all mad? Didn't he just pay for the funeral and y'all cards and the carriage? That carriage $10,000 alone to make them horses move. And Pooh Shiesty trying to use that as an excuse of why he spazzed out on Gucci. No, my nigga. I'm right here in Memphis, y'all. No, my nigga, you can't use that as no excuse of why you a grown man now. Gucci is a grown man. And since you got so much money, when you got out, you had so much money. What the fuck is wrong with him asking for his chain back? You should have been the one to tell your family, hey, that's business. That is business, y'all. But I got him a chain. I'm finna go get all y'all chains made. The sister, the mom, the dad, get all y'all chains made that say Big Scott instead of fucking 1017. You didn't pay for your cousin's funeral, nigga, and you was banned up in jail. Did everybody forget about that? Your family is your responsibility, not Gucci Mane's responsibility. He already put your family on from your word. He ain't never did an artist like that. artist that signed to Gucci ain't never been able to bring somebody in that they know from the outside and say, hey, Gucci man, look, man, my cousin, he need to be signed by you. Man, I ain't looking to sign nobody. Come on, man, do it for me. You ain't even got to sign them for the 100,000. Sign them for 50,000, 20,000. Guwap gave 50 racks. That's something. If he would have kept his ass on the road, but he didn't want to do that. When I was staying in Castaic, where Dolph from, that's where Big Scott used to stay at. Yeah, South Memphis. He stayed right across the tracks from us. Yeah, me and Dolph stayed in the same apartments, Thompson Court. But we call it Castaic. But Castaic is way bigger than Thompson Court. You know what I'm saying? And that's when Kodak Black had the song out. I knew the perk was fake, but I still ate it because I'm a gremlin. So all the young niggas in Memphis that were doing perks and shit and doing fentanyl pills and shit, they didn't care if it was real or fake. If it was fake, they was buying it from your ass. Oh, them the fake joints. Nigga, let me get about 2, 3 of them. Nigga, what? You don't even know what's in the fake joints. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what he did. He popped the fake joint. That joint took him out. Gucci Mane didn't make him come back to the hood. Gucci Mane said he actually tell this artist, listen, I'm signing you to get you out the hood. What you do is on you. But I'm not coming to jail to get you out. And you talking about a nigga ain't send you no money and Gucci Mane or Keisha Dior them got receipts that they done put money on your commissary. Thousands of dollars a month. Nigga, you don't even need thousands of dollars a month. Plus you got a couple of thousands in that bitch already. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that shit, I was like, what? I said, that's why Atlanta don't hate Gucci Mane. That's why everywhere he go, that man went to, what's the young nigga name? Migos, Quavo or something like that. That man went to Quavo, little event. I think Quavo was having a birthday party. Quavo had been in that jump, but when Gucci Mane pull up, he tell Quavo, look, I done pulled up. He got his guys with him and shit. That man walk in there hoe with like a pink ostrich looking shoes, nigga, with a I think a white cardigan or something like that with his hands in his pocket. Nigga was making fun of him, said he ain't took his hands out of his pocket since their robbery. But when he stepped in the door and Quavo shook his hand, when I say the whole club got loud as fuck, all the bitches was like, hey, Gucci, hey, Gucci. All the niggas was like, big bruh, they want to shake his hand. He ain't shaking everybody's hand. He just, yeah, they happy to see him with a big ass smile on his face. With them veneers that he got. Try and give me some of them all. Yeah, Mike, this shit crazy, bro. Man, shout out to Mike in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all make sure y'all like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, Mike, he getting active in the chat. Yeah, that man was sending that man thousands a month. 2,500 her. 2,000 her. 1,500 her. 3,200 her. I was like, damn. I said, man, a nigga blessed. And he looking at it like that ain't enough or something. Or I guess he looking at it like, oh, this nigga paying me royalties and paying me this low. That nigga wasn't paying you no damn royalties. That man was just sending you something because he a big nigga. Nigga don't need that much, but a nigga like Gucci Man, when he go to the feds, he spending that much. He's spending thousands a month because he not just buying for him. He giving shit away to the niggas, to his bloods and shit that's locked down in the feds. He getting Keisha to put money on their books and shit. For when he get up out there junk, they be able to last. You know what I'm saying? Or come up. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Man, come on, man. And you'll do them like that. You'll do them like that and put them on camera. Oh yeah, he handled that like a real G. If a nigga would have ran in the trap, that's how you gotta handle it. If he say give me everything, then what they gonna do? They gonna give him everything without moving, and they got guns in the closet. They not gonna try a young nigga. They gonna let the young nigga get gone with it. And then they gonna catch a young nigga on the back end. Listen, y'all. Gucci Mane let Pooh Shiesty get gone with it. Because he knew somebody was going to tell. He didn't have to say shit. He knew somebody was going to tell and it was going to get out. He just did the song to confirm it for us. Yeah, y'all, it really happened. Okay, it's coming out. Let me let y'all know it really happened. But Pooh Shiesty, you a crash dummy. And he called the young nigga a crash dummy. You know why? Because he already got half of your project that you did before you went in. And everything that you doing now, since you got out, it don't matter that you don't want him to have it. He can confiscate all that. Since you signed to him, any music you do under the name Pooh or Shiesty or Pooh Shiesty, it's owned by Gucci Mane because he owns that full name. And trust me, when he signed you and took ownership of that name, he patented that name. That way you use it again. That's what the labels do. You know what I'm saying? The one that just robbed Gucci Mane, Pete Kirk, the one that just robbed Gucci Mane, his Gucci Mane artist that just robbed, yeah, and went to jail for it. Got his dad locked up for it. Got his friend Big 30 locked up for it. I said, man, Big 30 better tell something. Big 30 better fucking tell something. Because if it was me, I'd fucking tell something. I'm sorry, Pooh Shiesty, but fuck that. You just got my whole 7-figure deal fucked off. See, Big 30 had a 7-figure deal coming up. Yo Gotti then was finna sign him, but see, Yo Gotti is signed to Interscope now. Interscope, like hell no. The corporate company, like hell no, we're not gonna sign him no more. Because he just got involved in some stupid ass shit. And see, when you famous, like real fame, don't come from labels like CMG. Don't come from labels like Rock Nation. Real fame come from labels like Interscope, Universal, Sony, those bigger labels that run the whole fucking industry, Atlantic Records. That's who Gucci Mane signed to. When Pooh Shiesty got locked up, they said, hey, Gucci Mane, he was supposed to get out and do us another album. We need an album from him now. I don't give no fuck that he just got locked up. L.A. Reid them, Usher Dad, Atlantic Records, they like, we don't give no fuck that he just got locked up. Look, drop the album. We need some revenue and residuals. He was supposed to drop an album when it came out, and we were going to put him on a tour. What happened? What happened, Captain? Yeah, so they dropped that junk. All eyes on Shiesty. Yeah, and every nigga that's out here bumping it, I don't give no fuck if you do fuck with Shiesty and support Shiesty. Gucci Mane and Atlantic Records, most of all, is getting paid. Atlantic Records is getting paid the most. They getting paid off the top, and then they cut Gucci Mane a check. Yeah, Gucci Man label, 1017, gonna get a royalty check for Pooh Shiesty. And then Gucci Man is gonna take that check that he owns, because Pooh Shiesty is his name, and he's gonna cut the artist that holds the name Pooh Shiesty a small percentage of it. Depending on how good he did, though, he gonna cut a bigger. It's still gonna be small, but a bigger percentage. You know, if he got, just say if he got 5 million, he probably cut Pooh Shiesty 500,000. New contract. He cut him 500,000. He first signed him for 100,000, right? Which means they probably gave Gucci Mane 2.3 million or some shit like that to sign Pooh Shiesty. Atlantic Records did, right? And then Gucci Mane give him 100,000. Boom. He bring out the second album. That whole make Gucci Mane 5 million because it made Atlantic 15. So they took 10 and gave Gucci 5. Gucci is gonna get that man 500,000, 10%. That's good. But he gonna re-sign him. Put him right back in the 360. Pooh Shiesty ain't even got no he ain't got no YouTube and no Facebook and all of that. People saying, yes, he do. No, that's not his. Gucci Mane own that shit. Gucci Mane own it. See, when they sign you to the 360 deal, anything you got the name that they signed to that 360 deal, anything, they own it. So your Facebook, all this shit that get monetized, Gucci Mane get paid for all this shit. Pooh Shiesty, they own his Facebook like Pooh, free Pooh, free Pooh. That's traction. Facebook gonna cut a check for that. It's going to Gucci Mane. Everything going to Gucci Mane. You know what I'm saying? And right now, Pooh Shiesty is blowing Gucci Mane pockets up. So he just, like I said, just like the dope boy. Pooh Shiesty robbed him at gunpoint, at Draco Point, kidnapped him, made him sign him off the label, then let his friends and shit take all Gucci jewelry. See, the reason why Gucci kept his hands in his pocket, because he most likely had some money in his pocket. He most likely had this black card in his pocket, but niggas ain't thinking like that, right? So yeah, you done took my rings and shit. But I ain't even finna let you see a piece of money sticking out my pocket or a piece of a card sticking out my pocket. Right? You took all of that. Your niggas took my white boy them, my officers them, Rolexes and shit. Yeah, it's like Pooh Shiesty them ran in the dope house and made them drop everything. They just let them drop everything. But see, when you run in the dope house and they drop everything, when they find out who you is behind their ski mask, they gonna catch you on the back end. Watch this. They came in the studio unmasked, robbed Gucci Mane them, went to jail for it. Gucci Mane dropped Pooh Shiesty out. He catching it on the back end. Yeah, so who won? Gucci Mane. Yeah, Gucci Mane won. What it do, raw? Yeah. Y'all like the video for me, man. Subscribe to the channel. What it do, Panther Paws? Yeah, like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel. Would you sell your soul for the fame and the money? Would I sell my soul for the fame and the money? No, sir. And you know why? Because I ain't got to sell my soul for the fame and the money. You know what I'm saying? I can just rock with YouTube. See, the thing is, after I monetize, right? After I get 1,000 subscribers from going live, they throw me a pool of people and they tell me in the paperwork. See, a lot of people don't read the paperwork. They tell you, when you go live, we're going to promote your live for you. and we're going to throw you pools of people. When you see the numbers go up in the people, it's your responsibility to remind them, hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. But then it's also your job when you're telling them this, because YouTube is going to always promote you to be constantly making content. See, I make content every day. Every single day I make content. I haven't reached 1,000 subscribers, but I've already in almost 60 days, I've already made over 200 something posts, close to 300. It may be over 300. I don't really know, but last time I looked at it, it was like over 200 posts. But you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's all a job. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they tell you gotta stay making content is because if somebody watch your video or somebody watch your live and they get off, right? Or your live ends. When your live ends, they gonna suggest somebody else live to them if you don't have any other lives recorded. But if you get off and they still in, they'll suggest your lives, which will help you also monetize and grow. Because when people come to your page and they see, oh, he not just going live for a day. He really does this. And what he's talking about is interesting. I'ma subscribe. Guess what? They can expect some content every single day. Tons of shorts. And at least 1 or 2 lives. Depending on, how I'm feeling. But I'm trying to monetize so I can turn it into my job. Because when I turn it into my job, then I can damn near go live, try to go live for 24 hours with the energy drinks like T-Pain will be doing. See who can stay up the longest. What? Man, we'll be doing content all day. I'd be right there with my moderators. We'll be doing content all day. We'll be outside. Yup. Hell yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, man, it's a job. But yeah, let me bust this intro. What's up, y'all? Yeah, this your boy Blocstarr Imis. This is Blocstarr Imis Analytics. And what are we? We are Blocstarr Analysts. What are we gonna do? We're gonna analyze the fuck out of some shit. Listen, chat, I love you, chat, and I thank you, chat, for joining me. Man, we finna get into it. It's our Michael and Drake special. Look, it's been going the whole fucking week, and we've been doing the damn thing. Listen, if you just coming in, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. The first clip we're gonna get into, it's about Michael Jackson. It's about his career from the start to the finish, right? We started out 2 days ago talking about Michael Jackson's haters, right? And Michael Jackson's worst haters was his brothers and sisters. Yeah, we started off with LaToya and Janet. In different interviews they took with him, you could hear the hate and see the hate if you knew the situation. And Michael Jackson used to do things for them like they weren't getting awards. They were getting nominated for awards, but they were never winning awards. LaToya used to ask Michael to call a news station or like Inside Edition, shit like that, and take an interview with him, but say that he thinks that she deserves the such and such award. Because that she know if Michael Jackson said, then they'll give the award to her because Michael Jackson wants her to get the award. So he'll be at the award show. Like Michael Jackson was that person everybody wanted a piece of. But just to get into a full glimpse of his life, but his career part of his life, when he turned to a single artist and he took off from his brothers. That's a story told and untold and really unseen. No one has really seen the whole story, follow Michael Jackson like that through his whole entire life. Not even his bodyguards and his security stayed the same his whole entire career. So no one but him, really. But for us to be able to piece it together and then watch it and see it or hear it all come together as one, it's amazing. So that's what we're going to start off with. We're going to commentate on all of it. And then we're going to get into an interview from Drake. And he going to talk about how he came up, and where the hate came from in the industry. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to point out some of his hate in the industry that's trying to create a downfall. But that's what we're saying. We're not going to let that happen. So with no further ado, let's get into this Michael Jackson clip.
Listen, whether it hits you one time or 1,000 times, safe, that it doesn't even matter.
And Beat It were monster success. It was meant to be the biggest tour the world had ever seen, a victory like no other. 6 brothers returning to the stage one last time to remind the world where it all began and reclaim their place in pop music history. But what started as a dream quickly spiraled into one of the most controversial and revealing chapters in music. Behind the glittering lights, bedazzled costumes, and spellbinding moves was simply utter chaos. By 1984, Michael Jackson was untouchable. Thriller had rewritten the rules of pop music. He wasn't just a superstar. He was a phenomenon. Every song, every move, every appearance sent shockwaves through the world. But as his solo fame soared to unimaginable heights, the pressure to return to his roots for one final farewell with his family became impossible to ignore. The Victory Tour's excesses were unlike anything seen before. 50-foot stages, blinding pyrotechnics, and ticket lines that stretched around city blocks. Conceived as, quote, the most profitable tour of all time, millions waited for a glimpse of the man who had moonwalked his way into the history books. However, what was supposed to be a victory soon became a war between fame and family, loyalty and freedom, business and art. Millions were made and lost. Life-threatening accidents, bitter lawsuits, and family feuds almost brought the entire tour to a crashing end. What should have been a celebration.
And that right there shows the hate that he was already. That shows what I'm talking about. What we talked about 2 days ago. The hate, like I said, the worst hate he's ever gotten was from his own fucking family. Now this tour quickly became the biggest tour of all time. No one still hasn't done a tour as big. You know why? Not because it was the Jackson 5s, because Michael Jackson was on the tour. But he did it with his brothers, so he made it the biggest. His production team, they drew up the biggest stages. The folk took over the biggest arenas around the world. Yeah, football arenas and all that. Michael Jackson, he never performed in basketball arenas. That's another thing we said. Yeah, Michael Jackson didn't come to basketball arenas. If you didn't have a NFL football stadium in your city like Memphis, he'd never come. Yeah. He'd go to Nashville. They got the Tennessee Vols and the Tennessee Titans. He'd go to Nashville. They got the Tennessee Volunteers and the Tennessee Titans. They got a NFL football stadium in Nashville, our capital. Yeah, I'm out in Memphis, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? For real. They got one, right? So he would go there. But it quickly turned into feud. Feud of brothers. Yeah. And I think that tour ended before it started. Really, it didn't go as long as it should because Michael Jackson wasn't having it. He didn't like fighting and all of this shit. Yeah, I mean, that's why he got away from his family in the first place. All the fighting and bickering, and y'all supposed to be happy. At least I am. You got no worries. You can focus on you and how to love you, and then start focusing on how to love the people around you. You got all the time in the world. You ain't got to go to work, and none of y'all had to go to work. Michael took care of that. Now he give you your own money, and oh boy, you start to smell your ass. Michael, you always thought you were better than us. He is better than y'all. He dead now, and Michael Jackson will still be better than y'all. While he's dead, Tito Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, yeah, all of y'all, LaToya Jackson, Janet Jackson. That man threw a tour, the Victory Tour, he threw that to carry his family and help y'all make y'all own money. Y'all still hated on him. So he ended the tour. He shortened that motherfucker up, and his team said you did right. Now he's dead and gone, and y'all still ain't better than him. When this Thriller album dropped again, he's still gonna do over a million the first week. If y'all drop an album right now, Janet, LaToya, Tito, Jermaine, should I name all of you? No, it's too many of you. Y'all drop an album right now, Jacksons. Y'all should never do better than your brothers. Not when he was alive, and not now while he's dead. Yeah, this is the Michael and Drake special, not the Michael, Janet, LaToya, Tito, and Drake special. No, I didn't say all y'all. I said the Michael and the Drake. You heard me, chat. You heard me. Yeah, Janet, she for sure won awards. But listen, when they tried to kill Michael Jackson's name so they could take his copyrights and take his catalog and take the Beatles catalog back, now Sony owns that. So you know who took him out allegedly. Come on now. I gotta say allegedly because I just said Sony. They know what they did. They wanted them catalogs, and they finally got them. And now when they drop Michael shit, when they drop the Beatles shit, it go up. Those of you who coming in, man, y'all like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, we trying to monetize. Fuck with your boy. Yeah, y'all, like I was saying, they'll never do better than him. They could. Nobody could. That's why you get people like Dr. Umar saying, yeah, I believe Michael was a prophet. They said, why you believe that? He said, not only his music, not only he's soft spoken, even when he was mad, you couldn't tell he was mad unless he said, "I'm mad." Like when Michael Jackson was mad, you couldn't even tell he was mad unless he said, "Hey, I'm mad. I'm so angry." Because he kept a smile on his face. And he said he's a humanitarian. Every tour he ever took, he donated all the money to some type of proceeds. Whether it was the Women's Heart Association, Women Breast Cancer, St. Jude here in Memphis, Children's Research Medical Center. Yeah, kids from all around the world who could have lost their life is living today because of people like Michael Jackson who donate to our St. Jude. That's why St. Jude is damn near half of downtown now. They done bought it out. Every piece of land they buy, they building a new hospital tower. So more kids can be able to get surgeries and shit. Kids that have bad shit, bone marrow disease and brain cancers and shit. Man, them kids, them folks saving kids, man. So you get people like Michael Jackson who will go on a tour and make billions of dollars. See, Michael Jackson, he would make tens of billions of dollars for the labels. And he'd get paid $5 billion, $10 billion for the tour that he just took. And he'd give it all to Women's Heart Association. The whole thing. And then the next tour he'd take, because he took a tour every year. The next year, he'd give those 5 to 6, 10 billion to St. Jude Children's Medical Research Center. Then the next couple of billions from the next year's tour, he'll get it to autism. Yeah, that's what he do. He made enough. He was making billions off of the Beatles catalog. He spent $40 million on that. That's another thing we talked about. When Michael Jackson acquired the Beatles catalog, that was $1 billion deal. So he had his own money plus what he'd make as an artist from off album sales, because he'd sell 20 millions. That's going diamond twice. How you sell over 20 million worldwide the first couple of weeks, bro? First couple of weeks, bro. You sick. You doing the damn thing. But let's get back into it. Those of you who just coming in, man, y'all like the video for me. If you fucking with your boy. Yeah, what you said, Lala. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, he had to tell us he was angry. You guys, I'm angry. They're like, Michael, you don't sound like it. He like, trust me, I am. It's just, my family, they just want money. They're just money hungry. It makes me so upset. Michael, we don't believe you. I mean, we believe you that your family is money hungry, but we don't believe that it's making you so upset. You might be a little upset because you Michael Jackson. If there was one of us black people, we get to fight. Even the good white folk. Then they get to fight with our folks about it. Why you always asking me for money, and then they want to pump their chest up at us? We down there get the check. Bah, bah. Here, Mike like, oh my God, you guys, I'm out of here. Joey, grab the car. Yeah, that's my Michael voice. Let's get back into it, y'all.
Of brotherhood. became a battlefield of egos, greed, and control, ending with one final act of defiance that would shock the world. This is the Jacksons' Road to Victory, a deep dive into every twist, turn, and triumph behind the most ambitious tour in music history. A tour that, at any moment, came dangerously close to imploding and taking the Jackson family down with it. On the morning of November 30th, 1983, members of the New York press and photographers eagerly descended upon Tavern on the Green in Central Park, where Michael Jackson, pop music's hottest commodity, had an exciting announcement to make.
Yeah.
Hundreds of journalists gathered, and as anticipation filled the room, the superstar entered alongside his 5 performing brothers. The master of ceremonies, Don King, took to the microphone in his typical bombastic fashion.
Thank y'all.
Known for promoting Muhammad Ali's greatest fights, King had now turned his promotional firepower towards pop music. One reporter described the occasion as, quote, a Don King pep rally more than a press conference. At the center of attention, a shy and softly spoken 25-year-old Michael Jackson barely whispered into the microphone. Quote, the brothers are getting back together, formally announcing the much-anticipated Jackson's tour. His understated demeanor contrasted sharply with the desired grandeur of the event, prompting Don King to interject that Michael's voice was tired before taking over much of the talking himself. Declaring he would pull off the impossible, King revealed that the 6 brothers, Michael, Jackie, Tito, Marlon, Randy, and Jermaine, would perform together for the first time since 1976. King then gushed that Michael transcends all earthly bounds, calling the Jacksons' reunion, quote, ethereal, ephemeral, euphoric, and exciting.
They thought you'd never notice. They thought you'd keep trusting their stories, their excuse.
Ephemeral, euphoric, and exciting.
Michael Jackson spoke only to introduce his family. When directly questioned about the upcoming tour, King was quick to intercede.
Michael has just got to introducing his family, and he has a voice. There's a problem that he's been working so hard singing all these songs, and he will not be able to continue at this pace. Then today, America, tomorrow, the world.
Already a powerful but controversial figure in the sports arena, King, who reminded the crowd that he had helped guide Muhammad Ali to prominence, has charged into the music field with his usual flamboyant style, promising that the Jackson concert tour would net several $100 million.
Unprecedented and unparalleled excitement. Jackson mania with King telling the story.
It was a thrilling announcement for fans and journalists alike, but not at all what many expected, given Michael Jackson's recent solo triumphs, which were propelling him into entirely new and unexplored realms of superstardom. His 1979 masterpiece, Off the Wall, had sold over 20 million copies worldwide, 9 million in the US alone, becoming the highest-selling album by a black artist up to that point, and the first in history.
Yep. So Off the Wall was before the Thriller. Right before the Thriller. He dropped Thriller the next year. Off the Wall was his first album to sell 20 million like that. Yeah, it was over with for everybody. The whole group and everybody, it was over with. Michael Jackson had just broke world records. He sold 9 million alone in the U.S. And he sold that boy sold a whole nother 11 million around the world. God damn. God damn, Michael. Damn. The world loved it, Mike. That's why I told you the world loved him. Michael Jackson, the one who made it safe for Americans to be able to travel anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, because everybody love him. He's straight from America. Yeah, and everybody around the world love this man. You love by the popes, by the prince. Come on, man. The queen, the people. This man was loved by everybody, except for his family.
He produced 4 top 10 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Exactly 1 year before this very press conference, Jackson also released Thriller, which had been dominating music charts ever since, spending 37 consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200. With 20 million units sold, it was by far the best.
Did y'all just hear that? The Thriller album stayed #1 on the Billboard Top 200 albums for 37 consecutive weeks. That means back to back to back. Nigga, it's only 52 weeks in a year. He stayed #1 album for 37 weeks. Who else did it? #1 album for 37 fucking weeks. It's only 52 weeks in a year. Man, I ain't never heard of anybody else doing it. A whole album. This a whole album. Stay at #1 spot on the Billboard Top 200 albums, not Top 100. Top 200 albums. He ahead of 200 albums for 37 weeks. For 3 seasons. Like Lala said, it's 9 months. For 3 seasons. Fall, summer, fall, and winter. That boy hit cold in the summer. It led through the fall and through the winter. He cold, y'all. Michael is cold.
Selling album of the year, and soon became the best-selling album of all time.
Best-selling album of all time.
Breakthrough hits like Billie Jean and Beat It were monster successes, and at times charted the top 5 simultaneously, a rare feat. However, Michael Jackson wasn't just commercially successful. He had redefined the emerging art form of the music video and broken racial barriers on radio and television, becoming pop's ultimate crossover artist with his unique fusion of rock, pop, and R&B. By the summer of 1983, Thriller was selling 1 million copies per week, and the artist was a catalyst in
Thriller was selling 1 million copies per week. I told y'all. He had to be selling 1 million per week. To do 20 million. And guess what? I analyzed the fuck out of that because I was so right. Just thinking about it, I'm like 20 million. Hold on, man. In the first couple of months. Hold on. This nigga had to be selling it. This Nigga had to be selling like 1 million a week. He was selling over 1 million a week. Thriller album. This is fucking crazy. Gosh. You gotta love Michael Jackson. You gotta love him. I'm just like, how can you take an album, the Thriller album, and sell 1 million a week? You just constantly. You done sold 20 million records. You sold 1 million a week. For 20 weeks. You done sold 1 million albums a week. Boy, these folks said that boy was selling 1 million a week. MJ, holla at your boy. Rest in peace, dog.
Shaping the world of popular music. So when he suddenly chose to get back with his brothers and offer audiences a hit of nostalgia via his return to his Jackson 5 roots, the move seemed out of place, a step backwards for the superstar whose career had gone stratospheric. As one journalist put it, quote, "The Jacksons started as a cute kid group 14 years ago. Now they return as men, with a frontman whose solo success has eclipsed even their 150 million albums sold."
You're gonna want to clamp down your CD. Get a lighter and slowly go across and start bending it down like this. Let it cool, and this is what you should have.
Dead Man shit.
Has eclipsed even their 150 million.
Dead Man shit, they sold 150 million altogether. The Jackson 5s out of all the albums that they dropped as kids growing up. They was like the biggest young group out there. They sold over 150 million. His record sales had clipped what he did with the brothers. He was well over 150 million sales himself in the single career. That's because he was selling 1 million a week. Buying this shit all year. Yeah, they buying Michael Jackson albums all year. 1 million people weekly. That boy bring 1 million people to the store weekly. Cause they were buying tapes and CDs back then.
Albums sold. Michael Jackson's steep ascent into global superstardom, distinct from his family ties, was no accident, but the result of a plan the former child prodigy had been devising for years.
Ain't it, bruh?
It began with his pursuit of a movie career, starring in 1978's The Wiz, alongside his showbiz mentor and close friend Diana Ross. On set, he met producer Quincy Jones, who would become the driving collaborative force behind his recent musical triumphs. Eager to cultivate his own unique sound outside the Jacksons, Michael poured his creative energies into solo projects and collaborations with other musical giants, including Paul McCartney and Queen's Freddie Mercury. As his fame soared, so did his mystique. Michael became increasingly elusive, private, meticulous, and obsessively protective of his image. Quote, he developed one separate from the Jackson Group identity. Once, when an unacceptable photo was displayed at a publicity function, he demanded to know who was responsible and demanded their dismissal, a reporter observed, describing him as, quote, a taller, smoother, more polished performer, with traces of Diana Ross in his stage presence and in the way he accepted applause. Whispers surrounding his transformation, his refined nose and shrinking frame, only deepened public fascination. His evolving appearance seemed to symbolize a move away from his family identity toward a singular, global persona. Quote, the young man of Negroid features was recast with a slicker, almost European visage, one reporter noted during the press event. For years, despite continued success with the Jacksons, including hit singles and nationwide tours, speculation about Michael's departure loomed large. Quote, "The end of the '81 tour should have been a time of great pleasure for Michael and his brothers. They got excellent reviews, generated substantial profits. The crowds loved them, but their accomplishments were somewhat overshadowed by rumors that Michael would quit the Jacksons at the tour's end. A possibility that Michael often alluded to in music magazine interviews at the time. Even then, it was clear to outsiders that Michael had outgrown the group, and while remaining in the Jacksons, professionally separated himself from within. As one report put it, quote, "It was true that Michael now had his own career, with Off the Wall at #1 on the charts, in his own lawyers and accountants."
Yes, sir.
So why take a step back just as his solo career was soaring out of orbit? Why risk losing the momentum he'd worked so hard to capture and his opportunity to finally break away from his family? Well, the tour had been in the works for a while, ever since all 6 brothers reunited earlier in the year for the Motown 25 Yesterday, Today, Forever television special, celebrating the 25th anniversary of Motown Records. The program brought together many of the label's legendary artists, including Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and the Jacksons, for performances honoring Motown's rich musical legacy. For the first time since 1976, Michael Jackson would perform with all of his brothers. After the Jacksons' messy departure from Motown to sign with Epic Records in 1975, Jermaine had remained with the label until 1982, when he himself left to sign with Arista, allowing the long-awaited musical reunion to take place. Even then, Michael was reluctant to perform. He was increasingly focused on artistic control, creative independence, and redefining his identity as a performer beyond his Motown roots. By 1983, he was no longer the young prodigy Motown had molded. Having left the label nearly a decade earlier, Michael had found new creative freedom at Epic Records and had a new hot album he wanted to focus on. Motown 25 was designed as a celebration of the label's past, but Michael saw himself as the embodiment of pop music's future. He reportedly told friends and Quincy Jones that he didn't want to appear as though he were moving backward, returning to the nostalgia of the Jackson 5 era just as he was defining himself as a solo artist. Instead of performing exclusively with his brothers, Michael wanted to showcase his latest track, Billie Jean, which obviously wasn't a Motown song, and to many felt out of place. His brothers weren't enthusiastic about the idea, questioning why the focus couldn't remain on the group and their family at last reuniting, rather than pushing Michael as a solo artist.
I'm 49 years old. Last month I caught my wife crying in the bathroom because I couldn't get hard in bed. She wouldn't even look at me anymore. We're basically roommates, so I tried everything. Ryan.
Man, them YouTube commercials fucked off nowadays. How can we let our kids get on YouTube if they gonna do that shit all fucking day? This should be crazy, man. Ain't that shit crazy?
Rather than pushing Michael as a solo artist.
Red card.
Motown founder Berry Gordy also initially resisted, wanting the show to spotlight Motown's own hits. But Michael was firm. He would only participate if he could perform Billie Jean. Eventually, Gordy relented, aware that Michael's immense star power would guarantee strong ratings. He agreed to the solo performance, but only after Michael had performed a medley of Motown hits with his brothers. On the night itself, the reformed Jacksons triumphantly took the stage, performing a string of beloved classics: I Want You Back, The Love You Save, Never Can Say Goodbye, and I'll Be There. The reunion was one of the most anticipated moments of the show, their performance both uplifting and heartwarming, a nostalgic tribute to Motown's golden years and a testament to the brothers' enduring bond, despite growing rumors of tension within the family as Michael's solo fame soared. After the Jacksons set, Michael remained alone on stage. Smiling, he told the audience, quote, "I like those old songs. Those were good songs. I like those songs a lot, but I especially like the new songs." Moments later, the driving beat of Billie Jean began, and the auditorium erupted into a frenzy. Fresh off the release of Thriller, the performance became the defining moment of the night, and one of the most iconic television performances in music history. In stark contrast to the warm, fuzzy feeling the Jackson 5 classics evoked, Michael's masterful showmanship, polished moves, and cutting.
That's one of the things that they hated, y'all. Yeah. They hated that Barry Gordy said, yeah, we'll let you do Motown, we'll let you do Billie Jean. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the show. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only part of the show that the media highlighted was his Billie Jean performance. They didn't highlight the guys, the jealous ones, and even though their pockets was padded, they didn't get no fuck. They wanted to be where Michael was when they couldn't be where Michael was. Jealousy and envy. Jealousy and envy. That's what we talking about here. Those of you who just coming in, man, y'all like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We trying to monetize. Monetize no bean pies. Just like that. Those of you who coming in, man, y'all like the video. Sub to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We trying to monetize no bean pies. Yeah. Had to say it again for those of you who just coming in. And I'm not trying to rhyme, but the shit just keep on rhyming. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? What's wrong with me? But they was jealous because the media was highlighting the Billie Jean performance at the end of the show. No one was really highlighting when he was singing with them, which made it the most iconic performance. So now everywhere they go, they gotta do Billie Jean. And people are yelling for Billie Jean to be done by Michael Jackson whenever they sing it and shit, and they get tired of the Jackson 5 song. They like, Billie Jean, Billie Jean. The folk can't help it. They got to step back and let them do it. But yeah, that's where the jealousy come from. I can see them right now when they get home. You always try to be a show out, Mike. You always. You're like, what, guys? I didn't try to show out. I just wanted to do Billie Jean for my fans. No, most of the people out in the crowd is Michael Jackson fans. They're not Jackson 5 fans. But they want to see the moment of him giving back to his brothers. Just because he think that they deserve it. Chinese eyes.
Performance embodied the future. When he debuted his now legendary moonwalk, the audience was left in awe. The move instantly became a global cultural phenomenon. The broadcast reached tens of millions of viewers, and media coverage overwhelmingly focused on Michael's Billie Jean performance rather than the Jacksons' reunion.
What I tell y'all? I heard it before he even said it. When he was explaining that Michael Jackson wanted to do the Billie Jean song, right? And Barry Gordy, head of Motown, agreed to it. right? He said Michael Jackson did it at the end of the show, and it became one of the most highlighted, iconic performances. When he said that, I said, oh, that's what it was. That's one of their jealousy moments. I said, and the media was highlighting his performance, Billie Jean. Because from the nigga saying it was iconic performance, most iconic, I'm like, yeah, so the media highlighting this, and they not highlighting the performances with the Jackson 5. Nobody just might go on to say that they not highlight. They didn't highlight, none of the media outlets highlighted any of the performances with the Jackson 5s. They just highlighted Billie Jean. Billie Jean was everywhere. The performance, the live performance was everywhere. So now everybody around the world want him to come and perform Billie Jean. Another tour.
What the brothers had hoped would unite them in the public eye instead backfired. Michael's solo moment completely eclipsed the group, skyrocketing both his single and the Thriller album up the charts worldwide. It was perhaps the clearest sign yet that Michael had not only outgrown the group he'd joined as a child.
Man, hey, was Mike not cutting up? This man said it eclipsed the group, and it shot his single up, and the Thriller album started selling millions all around the world. It's just crazy. I'm like, damn, Mike, this how you did the folk. This Mike, they wasn't good as you when you was here, and they damn sure ain't good as you while you gone. Yeah. Rest in peace to Mike. Those of you who coming in, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, Corey got the mic. Yeah, you got the mic.
It was perhaps the clearest sign yet that Michael had not only outgrown the group he'd joined as a child, but that his family was potentially holding him back from fulfilling his greatest ambitions. With hit singles topping the charts, and after his electrifying television performance, demand to see the moonwalking stage wonder live was at an all-time high. Still, a new Jackson's album and world tour were expected, and shortly after Motown 25, reports emerged of, quote, that sisters Janet and LaToya Jackson might join their brothers. Reminiscent of the variety-style shows the family had performed in Las Vegas a decade earlier, the idea was one Michael quickly dismissed. Soon, new reports suggested that the Billie Jean singer was planning a winter solo tour, and even considering a collaboration with Steven Spielberg to incorporate extraterrestrial effects into his concerts. As late as October 1983, the press was still reporting that, quote, the Jacksons have a new LP coming out next month, and if the family group sets up a concert tour in support of that album, Michael may join them. Indicating Michael Jackson's reluctance to tour again with his brothers as the Jacksons. Yet Michael's loyalty to his family remained strong. The idea of leaving them behind after a lifetime spent performing together was an impossibly difficult decision. With Jermaine rejoining the group and following the unity they displayed at Motown 25, Michael felt a deep sense of obligation and even guilt that his solo success had far surpassed anything his brothers could achieve individually. For Michael to fulfill his own dreams, he would inevitably have to shatter theirs, as the group was unlikely to match the success they had experienced without their magnetic frontman. After more than 20 years performing together, Michael felt the least he could do was end things gracefully, before moving on to new horizons. He therefore agreed to one final tour, a farewell gesture to his family, making it clear that this would indeed be his last. One reporter noting that, quote, a release handed out before the press conferences does quote Michael as saying this will be the last tour. One final celebration of the Jackson family before he devoted himself entirely to his own solo projects. Quote, this definitely will be the last tour, Michael reiterated before the New York press, hiding beneath a pair of sunglasses. Besides, in the wake of Thriller, Michael had become both the most famous and the most scrutinized person on the planet. The press constantly speculated about whether he was abandoning his family, his roots, even his race. The tour offered him a chance to show the world that fame and fortune hadn't changed him, that he hadn't forgotten where he came from. Performing with his brothers one last time would soften his image, reminding fans of the smiling kid from the Jackson 5 and celebrating just how far they had come. As one journalist observed, quote, the Jackson story is one that says it's possible for a black artist to have mainstream, massive success because the music has merged. And if it's good, people will listen to it. Therefore, preparations for the nationwide tour began. While it would have been far more lucrative for Michael Jackson to go out on the road alone, the motivation behind the Jacksons' reunion tour was about more than just money. Michael was doing it out of love and for family, making a point to individually introduce his brothers during its announcement. For the other Jacksons, however, the financial stakes were enormous. On the back of Michael's incredible wave of success, and the singer publicly proclaiming that this would be the very last tour with the group, they felt pressure to make the most of this final victory lap. With boxing promoter Don King offering $3 million in upfront advances, he would act as tour promoter in association with Joseph and Catherine Jackson, the parents of the 6 members of the group. It was announced that the tour would include no fewer than 40 U.S. stadium dates beginning in May, spread over 13 weeks, with Michael limiting himself to no more than 3 shows per week to conserve his energy. The tour was expected to attract around 1.2 million attendees. Depending on ticket prices, which were projected between $20 and $25, gross earnings were estimated between $24 million and $30 million. Assuming the higher figure and deducting $6 million for expenses, the net profit would stand at approximately $24 million. 85% of that total would go to the Jacksons, with the remainder divided among Don King, Joe, and Catherine Jackson. Each member of the group, Michael included, would earn roughly $3.4 million, while King would receive $1.8 million, and Joe and Catherine a combined $900,000.
Mazda is the safest new car brand in America. She has no idea.
1.
Yeah, the mom, Catherine, the dad, these folks was making money off Mike. These folks was making money off Mike. It's not only his brothers and sisters, but his mom and his dad. I knew the dad was, that's why he was trying to be in the manager position. But the mom, 900K. crazy. I just can't. His mom out of everybody. How your mom though? I mean, I thought she was a good soul. 900,000 she got paid for what? For her kids going on tour? Man, she got more money than anybody in the advance.
$8 million, and Joe and Catherine a combined $900,000. There was also early talk of a concert film and a live satellite broadcast of one of the shows. Other plans abounded: a Billie Jean-inspired feature film, a signature Michael Jackson leather jacket, trading cards, and a host of merchandising opportunities. Don King, ever the showman, boldly declared it would be, quote, the most profitable pop music tour ever. King then announced they had already secured a lucrative Pepsi sponsorship. That alone guaranteed at least $5 million, with the potential to double that, making it, quote, the largest corporate sponsorship deal in rock history. This brought each band member's potential earnings to $5 million, the equivalent of about $15 million today. It was a dramatic leap from their previous sellout nationwide tour 2 years earlier, which had grossed $5.5 million in total. For everyone except Michael, it was the biggest payday of their careers, and the last major paycheck they would see for some time. At the time, corporate sponsorships in music were rare. As one article noted, quote, Jovan Perfume reportedly paid $3 million to put its name on the Rolling Stones' 1981 tour, making Pepsi's potential $10 million deal unprecedented.
Coming in, man, y'all like the video.
Behind the scenes, the partnership had been carefully assembled. Don King served as the go-between, while Joe Jackson negotiated the terms. Pepsi's rivals, including Coca-Cola and even Atari, had tried and failed to sign Michael earlier that year. For Pepsi, landing the Jacksons was both a business coup and a symbolic victory in their ongoing cola war with Coke. At that time, Pepsi was the underdog, eager to shake off its second-place image. In Michael Jackson, they saw the ultimate symbol of youth and energy, the embodiment of the new generation they were desperate to reach. As Pepsi executive Roger Enrico proudly declared, quote, we are undertaking this venture because we believe the Jacksons are the top entertainers in the world. Under the terms of the deal, Pepsi would serve as both sponsor and advertiser, with the Jacksons agreeing to appear in television commercials, and Pepsi's branding to be featured on all tour tickets, promotional materials, posters, and possibly even tour merchandise. At the time, it was almost unheard of for a superstar musician to front a corporate campaign, making Michael not just a performer, but a global marketing force. Pepsi's ambitions didn't stop there. The company planned to integrate the tour into a broader cross-promotional campaign that included Burger King, which had recently switched its beverage supplier from Coca-Cola to Pepsi in what was described as the largest beverage changeover ever in the food service industry, worth $35 million. This meant Pepsi wasn't just sponsoring a concert, it was orchestrating a cultural takeover, merging soft drinks, fast food, and pop stardom into one massive campaign. Fans grabbing a Pepsi or a Burger King meal would be greeted by images of Michael and the Jacksons, the ultimate fusion of music and marketing. As you can imagine, when Michael Jackson caught wind of the terms of the deal, he wasn't thrilled about using his considerable power and influence to push sugary sodas and fast food onto the youth of America. A self-proclaimed vegetarian and health enthusiast, he found the arrangement at odds with the wholesome lifestyle he prided himself on. Yet, feeling pressure from his family, he reluctantly agreed, but only on his own terms. Within the Jackson household, Michael's submission created both excitement and relief. For his cash-strapped father and brothers, it was a long-awaited payoff. For Michael, it was another test of balancing his art with his obligations. He insisted on complete creative control over the commercials, once again working with director Bob Giraldi, who had previously helmed his Beat It music video. Filming the commercials became an event in itself. Unlike the tacky celebrity endorsements that dominated early 1980s television, Michael aimed to elevate advertising into an art form. He took an unusual level of control for a brand campaign, supervising choreography, set design, and camera angles. Crews and executives alike described the production as if they were shooting a short film rather than a soda pop commercial. Pepsi executives were stunned by his attention to detail. Quote, "He's not just a performer, he's a director, a producer, an entire creative department." The concept for the first commercial, Street, featured Michael dancing through a city neighborhood with a group of kids, including a young Alfonso Ribeiro. It captured a sense of optimism and fun, portraying Michael as approachable and connected to ordinary people. The second, Concert, presents Michael Jackson the superstar and builds anticipation for the upcoming tour, with shots of screaming crowds, backstage chaos, and finally, the Jacksons taking the stage to a remixed version of Billie Jean that sang, "You're the Pepsi generation, guzzle down and taste the thrill of the day." As one article noted, quote, "Jackson insisted he wouldn't be caught on screen clutching a Pepsi can, and that his face would grace the frame for no more than a brief 3-second flash. He would not utter a single word about the product. Even the iconic dance sequences featured a child impersonator performing many of his signature moves, preserving the mystique around his image." Despite the control Michael exerted over the production on January 27, 1984, while filming at Los Angeles Shrine Auditorium before an audience of 3,000 screaming fans, disaster struck. After hours of shooting, director Bob Giraldi requested one last take. Jackson had already performed the same sequence 5 times, descending a short staircase as fireworks burst around him. But Giraldi wanted the timing tighter. According to Jackson's bodyguard Miko Brando, the director instructed him to, quote, "stay alongside the fireworks until after the blast." When the pyrotechnics went off, there was a sudden, blinding explosion, much larger than in previous takes. At first, Michael continued dancing, unaware that sparks had caught in his hair. He completed his spin at the bottom of the stairs before realizing something was wrong. Witnesses recalled him shouting, "Tito! Tito!" before crew members rushed forward. Makeup artist Karen Fay later said, quote, "All his hair was gone, and there was smoke coming out of his head. I never saw anything like that in my life." Chaos erupted in the auditorium. Some fans screamed, "Michael Jackson's been shot." Michael was rushed from the stage and taken by ambulance to Brotman Memorial Hospital in Culver City. Even in distress, his showman instincts were intact. Quote, "Leave the glove on," he told an attendant. "The media is here."
Jackson was rushed to the hospital last night after a bizarre accident set his hair on fire while he was filming a television commercial.
The scene was wild as hundreds of fans tried to see Michael Jackson as he was carried into a Los Angeles area hospital.
It seemed like he didn't know what was happening, like something was in his hair, and he started shaking it, and it was all blue and white.
Girl started crying, and all the lights went off immediately. We thought it was part of the act that was going on.
Doctors found 2nd and 3rd degree burns across a palm-sized area of his scalp. His plastic surgeon, Dr. Stephen Hufflin, told reporters, quote, "He's in discomfort and may suffer some permanent hair loss." Outside the hospital, hundreds of fans gathered, while inside, the switchboard fielded more than 200 calls per minute. Although what the public saw were lighthearted photos of Michael smiling with staff the next day, the reality was far more serious. He reportedly stayed awake until 1 a.m. in pain before finally falling asleep. Privately, he was furious. He believed the accident was the result of negligence on set. Quote, "The reason for the fire was stupidity, pure and simple. These bombs were only 2 feet away from either side of my head," he later recounted. Jackson threatened to sue, but ultimately accepted a $1.5 million settlement instead. Pepsi's vice president, Alan Potish, proclaimed, "We wish it had never happened." Still, the show must go on. Pepsi worried about the campaign's future, but Michael insisted the commercials be released as planned. Weeks later, he triumphantly attended the Grammys, his head still bandaged beneath a custom hairpiece, where he won a record-breaking 8 awards during the telecast. Both Pepsi spots aired to an audience of more than 54 million viewers. One media executive recalled that the network aired the Pepsi spot as special programming, not just a commercial break. MTV executive Les Garland said, quote, "I got word that Pepsi had bought the first spot in the 1984 Grammy telecast. I said, wait a minute, this Pepsi Michael Jackson spot, if that's going to run, it should run on MTV first." MTV then created its own special programming around the television event, interviewing the director and premiering the commercials during its broadcast. The day after the commercial's debut, the buzz was electric. Never had a commercial received such media attention, largely due to the dramatic accident that occurred during its creation. Pepsi claimed it had achieved roughly $3.5 million worth of free publicity within 24 hours. Stores reported bottlers running out of Pepsi as consumers rushed to buy the brand. In the months that followed, the accident only deepened the world's fascination with Jackson. Fans described his resilience as miraculous, and Pepsi capitalized on the sympathy, pushing the Pepsi Generation campaign harder than ever. Executives reported record sales, with Pepsi's U.S. market share surpassing Coca-Cola's for the first time in history. Although on the surface, it seems like this was just another groundbreaking triumph for Jackson, privately, Michael grew more withdrawn.
Yep, I haven't heard of that junk. I haven't heard that junk yet. But I done heard a couple of Michael Jackson impersonations where people don't really sound like him. They just sound like their voice at a high pitch like me. Yep. But yeah, man. Michael Jackson was taking off on their ass. They couldn't do nothing but hate him. And they wasn't even raised to. They couldn't do nothing but hate him and be greedy and want all this money. That's why he got away from him. Put him right out of his shit. Get up out of my shit. Y'all can have the old house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man, look, y'all. Your boy tired as hell. So we're going to have to start back again tomorrow. Well, today, later on today. I'm tired as hell, and I don't want to fall asleep on y'all. So we're going to end it right here. I'm going to have to look that John up, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going to look it up. Hopefully I can find it and make a short from that junk and post it for y'all. Yeah. But yeah, man, this is Blocstarr Imis Analytics. We are Blocstarr analysts. And what did we just do? We just analyzed the shit out of some Michael Jackson shit. And we'll be back later on to analyze the shit out of some Drake shit. Yeah, man. You've been chilling with yours truly. It's Blocstarr Imis. All the way from Memphis. Don't you forget me. Hey, listen, y'all. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Share this video with somebody you like and you love. And make sure you comment down below after we posted the video in the comment section. Because we love to get the live chats and the comments. We got to get our comments up. I appreciate y'all for being with me. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tonight. All right, y'all. Yeah.